and I was ready to go, do, be, and live, and it was just, I decided to, found this really cool job on the U.S. Navy base in Japan.
Okay.
Teaching lifeguarding and swim lessons to military personnel.
Wow.
In Japan.
Wow.
In Japan.
That was a heck of a commute.
Yeah. Every day, that 22-hour
How
flight.
much speed did you have to work up to jump that creek between the States and Japan?
Wow.
Well, it
wow.
was,
Incredible.
I decided, I was like, I'm ready to go back to work. This is what we're going to do. Because I'd always loved, I knew how much I loved swimming, and I was certified to teach lifeguarding, and I was certified to teach swim lessons. I'm like, perfect. This is
Here
great.
it is.
And no one, because I thought, when I start to apply for jobs, they're going to ask, why have you spent the last year and a half not working? What have you been doing?
Yeah.
And if I say, well, I had a brain tumor, they're going to be like, well, we're not quite sure we want to take you on. But if I say, well, right after I recovered, I went and spent 6 to 8 months in Japan all by myself without, any assistance, without anything. And I figured that would be an awesome job to start my life back with. And I just remember, and it was in the middle of the summer. I was hiking Mount Fuji, and I realized, it was a pivotal moment when I realized that the other shoe was not going to drop. I wasn't going to start having seizures again. My life was going to continue to go uphill. It wasn't going to start to spiral again. And I was climbing up Fuji, and I was like, last summer, I was laying on my bathroom floor, puking my guts out, and having 30 to 40 seizures a day, and taking tons of pills, and going to see the doctor 3 times a week.
And existing.
And, there was no quality of life. I'm climbing Mount Fuji. I am 14,000 feet above sea level.
Incredible.
There is something to this. And that was kind of the pivotal moment when I realized my life was not going to go back downhill. That I was on the right path.
Cool. That is incredible. That is really, really incredible.
I've heard a wise man say once that epilepsy is a disease of anticipation.
Yep.
And we're always anticipating our next seizure.
Yeah.
Remember who that was, Tom?
I have no idea, Steve.
Miss Tom.
No, don't use that word wise in association with me, Steve. But okay, so basically you have this epiphanal moment. Okay, life is here. Life is for the taking. Okay, then you spend your
6 months in
6
Japan.
months in Japan. You come home, and
I knew that I was going to come back, and I had to have a job when I got back. So I started applying for jobs that would interview me internationally.
okay,
And I found a job with Bradford Woods, which is associated with Indiana University. It's an outdoor education center. Basically, they take 3rd through about 6th graders each week. They have a different school group that comes to learn about environmental education, team building, leadership experiences. And so my job was to facilitate that. And so it was called a POI, Professional Outdoor Instructor. So I taught them about the waterways, erosion, rock development.
this sounds like fun.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, we had 15 about 15 outdoor instructors, including myself. I mean, we had people from the Philippines. My roommate was from Malaysia. There were people from Kazakhstan, Russia, Australia, England, just all over the world. And then, of course, places like New Jersey and North Carolina and Indiana. But it was great to have all these people from different places all around the world to share my new life with. And then I did that for about, we did it from February until July of 2009. And I realized that I was ready to find something else, and I got a job as an aquatics director in Toledo, Ohio, running a pool system at a YMCA. and really liked that and said, now I'm ready to go back to Kentucky. So I did that for 1.5 years, and then I was finally ready to come back to Kentucky. So I moved back to Kentucky in January, and now I'm running the YMCA's in Frankfort.
That's great. Incredible.
Great.
Thank you.
Hey. Yeah, I mean,
I see a book coming out of all this.
I do too.
It's gotta
I do
be.
I already have a title.
You need to, you need to do this.
You do.
People need, people need that kind of inspiration.
Absolutely.
They really do. And you know that. The people
I mean,
with
this isn't
epilepsy.
chicken soup stuff. I mean, this is serious life experience.
Yeah.
And we had the one author wrote the book Running from the Devil.
Mm-hmm.
And what he did is he looked at his seizures as being the devil. So he would run. In high school, he ran high school cross country, and as he got older, he would just go out and run. So anytime he felt bad, he would just go run. He was running from the devil. But, geez, what you've gone through. I thought I went through a lot. Man.
Incredible.
It just blows me away.
No, yeah, really, really incredible.
And you've been, other than this fine lady right here, you've been pretty much by yourself through this?
The medical parts of it. Once things got really bad, it was, I've just kind of was not really alone, but it was kind of, I went to survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I just basically said, I've got to be my own advocate. I've got to take care of my own needs, make sure that my doctors know what's wrong. And I don't want to say I forced people out, but unless people were overly wanting to help, like Ashley was, unless someone was forcing themselves into my life, I kind of, excluded them because it was really...
You needed all your energy for
Right.
yourself.
I had to focus on my
Surviving,
health
just
and
trying
figuring
to-
out, being my own advocate. I
Yeah.
mean, like my doctor always told me, she's like, you're my model for patient advocacy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would go to her and I'd say, this is the way it is and it's not acceptable.
Uh-huh.
We have to figure out something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, I didn't expect her to do all the research. I did, I researched my own neuro centers across the United States and said, this hospital has some good outcomes. What about this hospital? Can we try them?
Uh-huh.
So it's, it wasn't like I left it all up to her. It was, I did my own fair share.
And like we say, you have to, it's like Steve and I talk time and time again. If you're not content with your current condition as far as your epilepsy is concerned, you need to either seek other answers, or
Yes.
you need to be pushing your physician to let them know that, hey, you know what, I'm not going to settle for this. This
Right.
isn't what I'm settling for. This isn't right. I want something better.
Right.
Okay, and it seems that's
Well, and you really have to be, when you're dealing with the medical issues that I was dealing with, you really have to be your own advocate.
Mhm.
Because, a doctor can only do so much
yeah
without a patient saying, this has to be done.
Mhm.
Without a patient saying, look, what about this? Would this work? I'm sure that gets annoying sometimes, but
But it needs to be.
Yeah.
You have to keep knocking on the door until
Right.
until you get the answer that
Yeah.
you need.
yeah.
Incredible, just
Absolutely.
incredible.
Like I said,
You know,
I've had brain surgery 3 times, and her story just blows me away.
yeah. And if anybody would want to get in contact with Sabrina, anybody who sees this, certainly they could get in contact with me at or us at the Epilepsy Foundation at 513-721-2905, or you can even get us toll free 1-877-804-2241, or you can do it the newfangled way, www.cincinnatiepilepsy.org. If you contact Steve or I at those addresses or those phone numbers, certainly we'll be happy to pass that information on to you, Sabrina.
Well, and I welcome talking to parents, and when I actually talked to some people. I had a doctor's appointment up at the Cleveland Clinic last August, and did talk to a mom for a few days whose son was getting ready to have brain surgery, and kind of stayed with her for a little bit, talked to her, and was really able to give her some source of just some comfort. And I enjoy doing that, using my experience for something positive, helping people see, you know, how you stand up for yourself, how you stand up for your child, how you know, or someone to talk to a child and say, yes, these side effects of the medication are absolutely dreadful. We wouldn't wish it on our worst enemy, but it's something, unfortunately, that you have to deal with right now. So let's make the best of it.
Yeah. You know, and I think, you know, people who come out the other end of the surgery certainly have that attitude. You know, Steve has that attitude himself. You know, it's like, you know, hey, I've got to make the best of this, and I'm determined that these are going to be my outcomes.
Right.
You know, and I think that those are the folks who end up successfully going through the surgery and come out the other end of it, actually better people for it.
Definitely.
You know, I would like to thank everybody for joining us here. This has been incredible. We're going to have you back. We really are.
Definitely an award-winning show right here.
Yeah. I'm awestruck. I really am, and. Certainly, as we said, if anybody would like to contact us or contact Sabrina, please feel free to do so. And Sabrina, thank you so much
You're very welcome.
for your time. This was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.